Now we are going to start with the properties of the colloids, right? So I have summed up few important properties for you. First is the colligative property, next is the Tyndall effect, third is the color, fourth is the Brownian movement, electrophoresis, charge on the colloidal particle, and even we are going to talk about the coagulation or precipitation of the colloids. So now we are starting with the first property, that is our colligative property. So as you all know, we did in solutions as well, that colligative properties are something that depends upon the number of the particles. It actually depends upon the number of particles. Now here, suppose I talk about pure solution, the true one, true solution, I have colloid, say I have suspension, right. So what we are going to see on the basis of size, so let's say that in true solution this much particles are present per unit mass. In colloid, because true solution size is a very small, and the colloid has size approximately like this, and suspension has this much size. Now when we talk about the same you can say particles occupying the same area, we get to see that the colloidal particles are this much, let's say. And when we talk about suspension, so let us say that there are only 2 particles that are occupying per unit mass. So as we see that in true solutions, the number of particles per unit mass is more, as you can see, because they are smaller in size as compared to the colloids. So that means the colligative property, as we know, like you can say that the particles, number of particles per unit mass is more in case of true solution and less in case of colloids. And as we know that colloidal properties depend upon the number of particles. So that means number of particles are less in colloids, that because the size is big, so they are occupying less, you can say the number of particles present per unit mass is less. So that means even the colligative property will be less than expected, or you can say colligative property is less as compared to the true solution. So that means they do show the colligative properties, but their value is actually less than the expected value, because the particles are quite bigger in size, so the number of particles occupying a given area is small. Second property we have is Tyndall effect. Now what is Tyndall effect? It is simply the scattering of light by particles, and you know that due to scattering what happens, the path of the light becomes visible, that means the path gets illuminated. Now not all the particles can scatter light, keep in mind, like for a particle to show Tyndall effect or for a particle to scatter light, there is one condition necessary, that is the diameter of the particle should be comparable to the wavelength of the light. The diameter of the particle should be comparable with the wavelength of the light, then only we can then only the particle can scatter light. So let us take an example. Suppose this is my true solution. So let's say water, NaCl added to water, right. So in true solution we know that the particles are too small in size, so they are so small that they cannot scatter light. So what happens, when the light enters this side, it appears nothing in the solution and we get to see the path here. So that means here we do not get to see anything inside the beaker, so that means they don't scatter light. But when we take an example of milk in water, suppose I have water and I have milk, that my colloidal solution. So what happens when we pass light from here, the particles are actually comparable to the wavelength of light, like the colloidal particle diameter, that is between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, it falls in that category that it is comparable to the wavelength of the light. So when such light is passed, when the light is passed through such solution, so what happens, the particles of the solutions just scatter light, and what happens, as a result the path of light becomes visible, it appears to be red like this side, and even you can see the path outside also. So this appears to be red. So what happens, the particles actually illuminated the path of light because they scattered the light. So this is what is the Tyndall effect. So it is shown by the colloidal particles, and even it is not shown, you can say very well shown by suspension also, because again their size is too big that it is not comparable to the wavelength of light. But when we talk of the colloidal particles, obviously the size of the particles, that is the diameter between 1 nanometer to the 1000 nanometer, falls in that range that it is comparable to the wavelength of light. So that means it just illuminate the, you can say, path of light, and we can see the particles clearly. So you must have encountered Tyndall effect in the daily routine also. Like let's say that if you're watching, suppose you're watching a movie in a cinema hall, so sometimes what you get to see, you get like there's a projector which is just projecting the film on the screen. So what happens when the projector light is there, sometimes you get to see a proper path, you can say a path of light which is just reaching the screen, and what you get to see, you get to see the particles also moving in that. So why that is also called as Tyndall effect, because in that the air is present certain particles whose size is comparable to the wavelength of light. That's why they just scatter light and the path of light just become visible. So this is what is the Tyndall effect. It is best shown by the colloidal particles. Now we are going to start with the third property, that is the color.